Love, 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 love. Everybody answer the poll.
All right, I'll give you one more treat, and you want to go sit down? Hey, come on, chill out. Come over here. There you go, buddy. Sit. Yeah, good boy. Rocky's having a day. What's up, Grayson? I know, right? You guys see the profile picture? Yep, I already know that, bud. It's actually already up on the internet, in the comments even. It sucks. People suck as people. He is a poodle mixed. No, I'm just kidding. He's German Shepherd, American Stafford shit. That's right, buddy. You're an American Stafford shit. Don, Justin, what's up? American Staffordshire Terrier, which is different from a pit bull. So don't call him a pit bull, even though he's got a little bit of a wide head.
He just looks like his owner with his wide eyes.
What a tolerant puppy. I'm going to give him a treat now so you can lay down. Here you go, buddy. All right, go lay down. My dog knows what's up. My doggo knows what's up. Hello, Buckshot. What's up? Yeah, Brady, you're not wrong. It fucking sucks. People as a species are not viable. Yeah, he's very much a cool doggo. See the picture of him with the hat? Yes, so the color, the light brown is from the American Staffordshire, but the black around his muzzle and his eyes and the way his ears work is all German. And his desperation for attention is all because I'm an asshole and don't know how to tell my dog no. And everybody, show him your teeth first, go. We'll get to the guns here in a little bit, but just letting people in. Yes, there are guns. Get in here and hang out, but we're talking to my dog. Rocky, what's the capital of R? Rough. Rough R. Yay. Wook, wook, wook. Yay. Anyways. I'm going to hold your muzzle. Okay, I'm kidding. You're too good of a dog. But anyways, get in here. Say hi. Say hi to the doggo. He's enjoying his pets. It's been a while. Hey, Joe, sad day. Yeah. Stonehaven texted me about it. And, it sucks. It sucks that somebody decided to do that and took a man away from his family because they didn't agree with what he was thinking. That is one of the bullshittiest things anybody could ever do to somebody else. 31 years old. I'm old enough to be that guy's father. And his life got snuffed out by some douche nozzle. So we're going to go ahead and set you up. Rocky, you go lay down. You go relax, okay? You just relax, buddy. I got to do a little bit of the adulting now. Not a lot of adulting, but just a little bit. So, yeah, come in and say hi. Josh, our 1911's best in 45 or 9. They were designed for 45 ACP, but they function fine in 9. Aramax, what is up, kiddo? Hey, there is a poll up on the screen. Go ahead and vote on that. The KSG is chambered in 12 gauge. The discourse of debate is the foundation of a civil society. Absolutely. But the problem is a lot of people are nuts. Should you get a 70 or an 80 series? 70 if you want to stay with a pure 1911, 80s if you don't trust a gun. Although if you don't trust a gun, don't get a gun. Don't compromise on your beliefs just to get a platform that you think you might like. If you can't trust yourself without a firing pin block, then you should look at something else. And I'm not calling you out by saying that. That's just my opinion. 12 gauge. The 410 KSG seems really neat to me for some reason. It's a fun little gun. My soda does not need sugar. I do not drink sugar. No, a Series 80 is completely different from the internal mechanisms of a striker-fired handgun. All a Series 80s is 3 extra parts that create a firing pin block. A Glock is a pre-cocked striker system, completely different mechanisms. It's a pretty 22 bolty. Yeah, it's a pretty nice one, man. I like it. She's a good one. You love Rocky. Rocky loves you. Do you love everybody, buddy? You love everybody, buddy? Buddy. Come here, buddy. You got something on your face. It's my hand because I'm petting you. Also, you had some fuzz. Is that your own fuzz? Relax, buddy. He's hunger striking right now because I'm only giving him wet food in the morning now. I don't want to give him wet food all the time because, number one, it's expensive, and number two, his diet, he needs the extra nutrients that kibble actually has. So he gets wet food in the morning and kibble the rest of the day, and he has to decide whether or not he wants to eat that day or not. Adult dogs can go a couple of days without eating, so if he decides to be on a hunger strike, that's up to him. What's up, Stone? With all this bullshit, I almost forgot what tomorrow is. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things in this country going on this week, man. And, yeah. Yeah. It's just a fucking shame that people can't have a conversation and then just end the conversation, you know? Does a dog prefer chunky peanut butter, or is he a psycho that only likes creamy? It gets even funnier, a-hole. He doesn't like peanut butter, period. He will not eat it, no matter where I put it. You're going to call it a night for the internet, at least take a 2-hour break. Grayson, do what you got to do, brother. You saw where that was going. I knew exactly where you were going. I always know where you're going. I have a roadmap to where people are going. Me and the Potato Ninja robbed my parents today. Stole a lot of snackies. I know you may not want to claim as an expert, but in your personal experience, what do you think the technicalities of the incident happened today? An amateur, professional, it's pure speculation. It is all pure speculation, and me speaking on it is really... It's not my place to really talk about it. So, if I have to say from just a shooting experience thing, 1 round, 200 yards, it took a little bit of skill because most amateurs cannot pick up a rifle and fire a round 200 yards, 1 shot. So, I'm not calling it an educated guess. That's just what I think. Yeah, Josh, back off a little bit, dude. I'm not here just to answer your questions. Just relax. Ask questions at a longer interval, bud. Is my refrigerator still empty? No, it's got some carrots and Italian dressing. Honestly, to answer your question, I hate to say it, but it's actually a decent shot. And I will admit that I kind of have similar kind of thoughts towards this whole thing. It could have been a mass shooting. It was a targeted attack, which definitely makes it a person-to-person incident versus a mass shooting. So, yeah. And to do it in front of his family, and the kid was 31 years old. He was a man, but he was a kid. I'm 46 years old. I'm over a decade older than he was. So to kill somebody that's 31 years old, that's bullshit. Dave, look up Charlie Kirk. He was all over YouTube and TikTok. He was a person that would go and have discussions with people and try to be rational no matter what the conversation was. Yeah, sometimes I didn't agree with him, but he was a person, man. Yeah, I get where you're coming from, funny and insightful, but also like a lot of guys ran and made videos of that shit, and that pisses me off. There's a lot of YouTube content creators that went and made videos today about it. Even people that aren't in the space of firearms are making fucking videos about it. And that shit pisses me off almost more than anything. I almost didn't go live tonight just because of that. I like the look of your PCs. Yep. We talk about hooding prices. Yeah, so I reached out to my guy. I have a couple of options. If I want to go with Bayside, any of you that have Jiminy Show t-shirts have the Bayside t-shirts. They're American made, they're super high quality, but they're also super expensive. I made $4 a shirt when I sold those other shirts. The only way I could do Bayside hoodies, they'd have to be almost $70. So that's too much money. The next step down is from Champion. Champion makes a lot of the Target brand stuff, the outlet mall stuff. So it's okay quality, but it's more of a fashion hoodie than it is a work hoodie. It's not Carhartt thick, it's just a regular one. Those would be $45. So it's nearly $25 cheaper in order to keep the prices down. Paul, what is going up? You still a kid, and I agree with your sentiment. He was a person no matter what. Yeah, yeah, I'm not doing a $75 hoodie. 45 I think is enough. And what you're doing is you're also supporting me by buying the hoodie. So it's not just you're buying a hoodie that has a price tag. You're buying something to support a channel. There's only 50 of them going to be making. Capitalizing the tragedy, I get that. At least you speak with the integrity and respect the incident deserves. So I appreciate that. Absolutely. I don't. Also, when it comes to occurring and breaking events, I try not to get involved with them because people can give bad information. Now, it's a very publicized incident, and unfortunately, shit happened. And like I said, a man who shouldn't have died died. They need to address the situation that a person who had access to social media and didn't like another person decided to take their life. That's what I hope the message that comes from this is. It was fucked up. Should a 1911 have lights for rails? That's all personal decisions, Josh. If you like them, get them. If you don't like them, you don't have to, man. It's my favorite gun that you have. It's my old Winchester model 1894, chambered in 30-30. My grandfather owned it. It's from 1939. It's a beautiful gun. I had it sonically cleaned so I wouldn't fuck up the patina. It's a beautiful gun. A lot of what he talked about was rooted in Christ. I liked him. He will be missed. He was a person who was opinionated. He was able to make those opinionations resonate with a lot of people, and he made it a point to talk to as many people as he could. Whether or not he agreed with you or whether or not you felt he was condescending and always correcting you doesn't matter. He was a human being who had opinions, a family, a child, and his life was snuffed out by a piece of shit who couldn't just say okay and walk away. One of these fucking internet trolls who couldn't walk away. Not speculating, a-hole, and I really don't want to dive down that hole, but it was one person killed another person. That's just all we need to do, man. Those stuffed animals are so close to the fan. No, they're really not. They're here. These are downdraft fans. They blow backwards. There's literally nothing they're getting involved in. Agreed, his daughter watched them. Yep. If it's shit comments, people trying to make jokes about a human life being snuffed out, just get rid of them. I don't want them. Rather have a light and not need it than need it and not have it. Did Kirk actually say that? Any opinion on the Century Arms 1887? I've wanted one ever since I watched the Terminator, and they're the cheapest one. Century Arms is okay. Century Arms is fine. Just be careful. Try it and see what happens. Osmonic, it is terrible news, but taking that stance is not the right way to look at life, dude. If you sit there and every time somebody gets assaulted, you take that stance in your brain that somebody's out to get all Americans, this was a targeted attack against one individual from another individual. They didn't commit a mass shooting. This was somebody that was personally aggrieved towards Charlie Kirk. This was not somebody that wanted to hurt a maximum number of people and create a scene. He literally, whoever this person is, had a beef directly with Charlie Kirk, or he believed Charlie Kirk's opinions offended him in some way. As far as I'm aware, he did say that. Now, not Century Arms, I meant the Cimarron. Cimarron is okay. Cimarron is manufactured by, or it's owned by Chiappa, so it's questionable who made the firearm. Just make sure you take it out and shoot it and get a few rounds through it before you trust it with anything. I use rails and lights on all my carry guns, but people say a 70 series should be kept classic 45 ACP, no rails. Don't listen to people, Josh. At the end of the day, you're the one that matters. Do you like them with rails? Great, get one with rails. Do you like them traditional? Don't. I've got them without rails. I got them with rails. I got double stacks. I got single stacks. I got officer, commander. I got them all. I can only be here for a second, but have a good day. You too, Daredevil. Roderick, it was probably a 5.56, 223, maybe a 243. We won't know until the rifle is found. But yeah, it was a smaller caliber. Peace, bro. Have a good night. Keep up, by the way. Thank you, Osmonic. And again, I'm not trying to devalue your statement. I'm just saying it's not a way that you should live your life. Can't stand this hypocrisy. A lot of the people are incredibly upset about what happened today. Don't have anything to say about the countless other senseless killings. So when somebody that's a public-facing figure such as Charlie Kirk gets murdered, it creates dissent, disagreements, arguments, frustration, and rage amongst the American public. And many of them on either side of the debate are going to get in there and they're going to be furious about it. They're going to come in here and they're going to say, this happened because of this, or no, this happened because of that. It's purposefully why I am not making a video. I'm not making a statement. All I'm saying is it fucking sucks. All right, Justin, that's fine. How's you and Rocky doing? Figured I'd pop in for a few minutes. It's been a while. Redneck, what's up, dude? He's good, man. Yeah, Josh, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to make that all this live stream's about. If we get to that point, I will literally just end the live stream. I don't want this live stream to just be about what happened or speculation. Lord, we don't know. That's the problem with the internet, dude. Don't just jump into a chat and think you're going to get information. Flags have been ordered to half-mast. Okay. Looks like he hit his vest and went up. Okay. All right. Like I said, I know it's the topic right now, but I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about other things. I want to talk about life, man. What do you want to talk about? Anything else? Let's talk about what you do for a living. What does everybody do for a living? What do you appreciate? Tomorrow is the anniversary of 9/11. Are you doing anything special for that? Are you thankful for anything? Let's just talk about anything, dude. How's life? Life is okay. It really is. Moving along. Park was good. It's not too bad. It got into the 80s once the sun came out, but it was about 60 this morning. Specs does your PC have, and did you build it yourself? Yes, it is a Core i9 12900K RTX 4070 Ti. I did the water cooling. It's had a different motherboard put in it. That's why it's got one softline tubing in it, and that's why I never did the water block on the GPU on this one. How do I like my steaks cooked? I like them medium rare. Did you go to the range yesterday? No, I did not. You fixed your chainsaw? Awesome. How about the PC? How's that holding up? I like the new place for it. Miss the old lives where it was in frame. I still like it. It's always just the way it is. Hold on a second. Let me turn on my do not disturb now that I'm thinking about it. No, the hoodies will be pullover hoodies. They will not be zip up hoodies. Zip up hoodies, while technically hoodies, are technically not real hoodies. They are soft jackets with hoods. There we go. Free plug for Liberty Arms, too. The guys are really kissing my butt. Who are? Do you need to clean those guns often? No, I clean the guns when I shoot them. Otherwise, they really don't need that much maintenance. Guns are pretty easy to maintain. If you keep them in a good climate-controlled area, they typically don't need to be cleaned like furniture or dusted like plates. And my guns get moved quite a bit, so... Am I a military veteran? No, I am not a military veteran. Always considering anything with a zip and a jacket and anything with either a sweater or a hoodie. Yeah, so no, they'll be pullover hoodies. Yeah. Let's see. What other videos am I working on? I'm working on the follow-up to the T-Sauce double stack. I've got 1,000 rounds through it now. The thing runs flawless, and I'll be making a video on that. You prefer the full zip-up hoodie? Well, unfortunately, a good full-size zip-up hoodie will run you about $80 if I were to do one, and that's too much money. You're swapping out the Pathfinder for an Armada tomorrow. They said drive it out, miles in it, so it'll probably head up north in a couple of days. They said drive it out, miles in it. I don't get what you're saying. If you could design a pistol from scratch, what features or characteristics would you put into it, and what size? I really would never be interested in designing my own firearm, because what I would wind up with would be a 1911 with no grip safety. I do not have a Desert Eagle. I sold it. The last jacket I bought had the zipper on the wrong side. I tried to explain it was from Italy, but it didn't help. You bought a woman's jacket, bro. Is a Desert Eagle an American product? It was designed by Desert Eagle, but it was originally built and sold as an IMI or IWI Desert Eagle, Israeli Weapons Industry Systems, but it's actually built out of Pillager, Minnesota. Greetings from Italy. Hello, Italy. My parents are over there right now. They said drive it, put miles on it, so I will. Be careful, dude. That's how they trick you into fucking signing shit, though. You got to be careful with the number of miles you put on a demo. Oh, nice. What part? They're doing the Greece cruise, but they started in Rome. They flew into Rome, so they're spending time around there. I don't know their full itinerary because they fly out a lot. So it's American and Israeli. IWI has not sold the Desert Eagle under their brand in probably 20 years. A company called Car Arms bought them, and they are now American-made, American-delivered. You just ordered 2 camo full zip hoodies for $100, 100 pounds. Good, nice. How did I choose the stuffed animals? They were gifts. They're sloths. At one point, I only had 3 toes, and my name is Joe, so they bought me sloths. How's the nav doing? Is it holding up well still? It's being traded in as soon as I find something else. The dealership I bought it from, they actually have a 2017 Durango, newer than my old Durango, with the V6, but it's got full RT trim. It's the GT. I might trade for that. What kind of 1911 do you carry? I carry a pair of Ordnance Black Ops 5-inch. Fell, what's up? SMB says, nice. What do you think of Bull Armory? I like Bull Armory. Bull Armory manufactures good race guns. They also manufacture nice 2011s that are less money than Staccato, while still being of similar quality, if not a little bit better. And they also manufacture the Desert Eagle 1911. That's a Tommy Boy reference, I think. Can an American own an RPG? There are cases where you can file for destructive device licenses, but with an RPG, if you own a rocket-propelled grenade, each individual piece of ordnance has to have its own tax stamp. You had a 2012 Durango, it needed an engine rebuild and didn't have the $7,000 to fix it. The 2012s had the Gen 2 Hemi. Well, technically the Gen 2. It's not the Eagle Hemi. And unfortunately, that year range was very susceptible to valve train damage. Moss and mold growing on them for the sloths. I got a little bit. Remember back when I said someone should make an affordable belt-fed AR upper? Somebody was listening to that live. Oh yeah, they've been out for a while. What are the hoodies going to say? Same thing my shirts do. They're just going to have the Jiminy Show logo on one breast and the American flag on one sleeve. Nope, they're giving me through Enterprise. Nothing in the Enterprise. Oh, okay. So you're test driving a rental versus it's not a yeah. Tell us the best fact that you know. Anybody can eat lava once. My 2012 had a V6. It was the heat trim level. I hadn't even heard of it until I got it. Heat is a dealer specific. That wasn't an actual nationally issued level. But the 3.6 Pentastar needed a rebuild. That sucks. Now, the 3.6 Pentastar had a big problem with their heads, and they were actually under a service bulletin, so technically it should have been fixed for free. I'm not giving opinions or thoughts really on the Hayden, on the Charlie Kirk shooting Hayden. It's not my place to get involved in because all I'll say is that it fucking sucks. Don't kill people, and whoever shot him needs to be caught. Good evening. Hope you're doing well. I've had a chance to shoot the SIG 2011. I have not. It's a $2,300 gun, so no, I have not had a chance to shoot it. SIG doesn't have any extra samples to send out to me because they already sent them out to the bigger reviewers, and I can't afford to just buy $2,000 guns to shoot them. What is the beautiful 22 rifle above you? That is a Sears Model 43-103. Thank you for asking. We'll probably only go till 10 tonight just because it's Wednesday, so it's an off night. Also, because of current news events, I'm sure that my channel is not being recommended to people. Took the Durango to a couple places, and they told me the same thing. Half the engine was bad and needed to be rebuilt. All of them quoted me around $7,000. Something about the Pentastar tick too. Yeah, so the 3.6 liter Pentastar had bad heads only on one side. So it wasn't that it needed to be rebuilt. It was a factory defect. And if you had complained to Chrysler all the way up to, I think, 150,000 miles, I had it with my Chrysler 200 V6. They rebuilt the engine for free. Yeah, I seen the Kirk thing. Everybody's seen the Kirk thing. If you're on YouTube or the internet right now, I've seen the Kirk thing. You've seen the Kirk thing. Everybody has seen the Kirk thing. It's a tragedy. It sucks. I hope they catch the fucker. I never interacted with the man. I'm saddened that a human life was snuffed out, but other than that point, it means nothing to me. You can take that for animosity, not even animosity, but for, what's the opposite of empathy? So we've covered this before, but where does the price to performance ratio hit 1K? What in regards to what, dude? I'm sorry, I'm not listening to everybody. I was surprised how flat it shot. Yeah. No, I mean, it's a gun. It's a 2011 that's ported and or comped, and it shoots 9mm, man. It better shoot flat. I'm just surprised he died. I heard he was shot and was expecting him to recover. No, it was announced within an hour of the shooting. It more than likely hit an artery. Yeah. All right. Iceman, you have a good night. Spreading bad information or information you believe is just, it needs to go the fuck away, dude. So you have a good night. Where on a 1911 do you stop paying for features? The company is the depending feature, man, because like that is the Springfield 1911 Target loaded stainless. It's a $1,500 1911 that doesn't have fiber optic sights and doesn't have front strap checkering. But a Bull Armory 1911 Government with a 5-inch barrel has fiber optic sights, lightning cuts, front strap checkering, all for $900. So it's the company and the price. Bigger names, the amount of entry is higher. Lower quality names, the price of entry is lower, if that makes sense. Hey, yeah, a shot to the neck is not something you walk away from. Yep. Hey, I know you're talking about your weapons, which I most likely will end up asking you because you have an awesome arsenal, but what kind of computer do you have? Thank you, Let's Grow. It's also why it's in the background. I'm into tech, cars, guns, all kinds of stuff. It is a custom-built Core i9 12900K and an RTX 4070 Ti. What about the Bull Armory Axe series, the Glock clones with the 1911 grip angle? Not a full 1911 grip angle. The guns are cool. I don't care for all the slide cuts and features. I like a planar slide. I like serrations. I like lightning cuts, but I don't like when there's a line going dead through the side of the slide. I don't like when there's weird angles. It's a little busy. If they made the slide a little bit more plain, I'd really like it. Computer looks epic. It does the job. Plays VR, no problem. I would like to upgrade the GPU at some point, but you will never see me paying retail for a part. Do I have a favorite shoe brand? No. Cheap. Saw the news he was shot, didn't look into him much. He was young, really unfortunate. Does nothing but spew up more division. Shit's really unfortunate. Yeah, so I'm trying to kind of keep my opinions to myself because my opinions are like my asshole. I use them all the time. Doesn't mean that they're any good and they might stink. The things that you take away from it, he was 31 years old. He was a fucking kid. He had a family. His family was there. This fucking nut decided to kill a man. It takes a very strong commitment on the part of somebody whose brain is not functioning right to kill another human being. I have a lot of guns. I have no desire to kill anybody. I have the capacity, the training, and the knowledge on how to kill people. I still don't want to kill somebody. So to go where a murderer goes mentally is difficult. And the people that do it for a living, detectives, investigators, people like that, they have to suffer through a lot of sleepless nights because they have to imagine scenarios that the average person doesn't think about, and it sucks. It does much. Appreciation. Next question. What coating is on the self-lubing Springfields? Not 100% sure. Maybe a DLC. That's a good question, though. Yes, I'm lost. I have to go look this up. Look what up, dude. Insensitivity. You talking about me? My feelings on it? It's not insensitivity. I have a mental condition that if I don't know a person, if I'm not emotionally attached or even connected to somebody, I don't get emotionally involved with what happens to that person. And it's a really shitty way to put it. It sucks that a human being was snuffed out, but I don't know him, so I don't have a reason to mourn him. I mourn him in that he was a human being and shouldn't have been killed, but I don't know him personally. I can't get that level involved with a media person. Like if I die tomorrow, 98% of you should have no reason to feel an emotional attachment to my death. There's 5 of you that I can name off the top of my head that I've had conversations with and I've met and I've hung out with and I've gone shooting with. Those might have those kind of connections, but for the most part, you guys shouldn't get that attached to a social media person. Should I move out of mass jumping through hoops? That's a personal decision, dude. I can't tell you. Super unfortunate. He's very likely killed because of his opinions. I didn't like the guy, for example. Doesn't mean he deserved to die. Yeah, he was killed because of his opinions. He was killed for his opinions and his public-facing persona. Just so you know, there's some of us that would miss you, me included. And I appreciate that. And I really do. End of statement. I would definitely come to your funeral. There won't be a body. I've seen you in here a couple of times, but I've heard you die. I just say that sucks and move on. And that's the way it should be, man. It's, you know, I love you, homie. I appreciate that, but, you know, it's one of those things. Like I said, if you've never met me in person, don't mourn me when I die. Celebrate the life I had. Have fun with your friends. Show them the stupid shit I did. Show them the titty live stream. But don't mourn somebody that dies. Celebrate their life. Think that it was messed up that someone took somebody's father and husband's life because of their opinion. Absolutely, Aiden. If you can't agree with somebody, you should vocalize it. And I'm waiting to see who it is. Waiting to see if it's somebody that was actually at one of his panels. More than likely it was. Could have been somebody that felt slighted by something he said. Or it could be somebody that just didn't like the man. It just, people are fucking stupid. I'd get a Glock engraved with your honor of you. As long as it said, fuck you Glock, with my name as the quote. Here for a good time, not a long time. Unfortunately, I'm still here. Been here for 46 fucking years. Jiminy, I'm back finally. Hello, Andy. If that's true, there must be a queue a mile long for Trump. Unfortunately, there is. But again, you know, you saw when somebody did try to kill him, it takes a certain mindset, man. They let the second suspect go already. They found the original World Trade Center bombers from a pubic hair on the rear axle of a rental truck. If they want to find them, they'll find them. Looking good for 46. Feeling good. Thank you, Mortimer. Hello, Chris. What's going on? All right, man. I'm a dip. Was good hanging out with you in the community a bit. You and Rocky take care. All right, Redneck. You have a good night, man. Appreciate you stopping in. Yeah. So here's the deal, guys. The hoodies. I did a poll because I want to see what color everybody wants. Obviously, black is the winner. Looks like gray and green are the next two on there. So I'm going to do a run of 50 hoodies. There'll be XL, 2XL, and 3XL. It gets very expensive to do hoodies, so I can't do 4 and 5XL, sorry. So I will do XL, 2XL, and 3XLs. It looks like black, gray, and green are the winners so far. We'll see what happens at the end of the poll. They're going to be $45, and it has to be Cash App, 45 plus shipping, so it's going to be like $55. If you want to help support the channel, there's only going to be 50 of them made. I can autograph them if you want. Otherwise, you can just have them. but that's the way it's going to be. I'm going to have them start printing them. It is now the 10th of September. They probably won't be done till the middle of October because it takes time to run up a small print. I might have them do t-shirts at the same time. Those t-shirts are going to be 25 bucks. So we'll see what happens. Just keep that in mind. How much to post to the UK? It's going to be very expensive. To post to the UK, I'd have to double check because it's not being sold through like eBay with global shipping. Last time I shipped something to Australia, international shipping, it was like $50 just for the shipping. Honestly, I might get one. Yep, and like I said, there's only going to be 50 of them, and when they're gone, they're gone. I hope Jesus takes care of his soul. Sorry for bringing up religion, but I feel the need to say it. That's fine, man. Like you said, if you guys, he was a very very firm believer in God, so you're respecting him and you're respecting religious beliefs. That's fine. You're respecting a human being that died. I'm not gonna block people for that. Though it's hot here. Sorry, man. You can always order a shirt. Stone, you're obviously getting hoodies. Got my youngest a Limp Bizkit shirt, and her teacher told me it's all the entire staff talked about the entire day. You're a bladesmith. Bladesmiths are cool. He was young. No one deserves violence for their opinion. No, nobody deserves violence for their opinion. And he was young. 31 is young, man. He started doing this when he was a kid, and he made a profession out of it, and he was very successful at it because he was willing to have these conversations. But all the clips that got posted of him were him correcting misinformation, so people take them completely out of context. Yeah, no, Charlie Kirk is kind of like does what Ben Shapiro and Crowder did. Charlie Kirk was a very outspoken conservative. But either way, it doesn't matter why it happened. It shouldn't have happened. Somebody with an opinion should not be taken off the face of the earth. Yeah, so it absolutely sucks, and it's terrible. Greetings from Northeast Oklahoma. Mr. Mom, it's been a while. How you doing tonight, man? You enjoying any nice fine beverages this evening? Perhaps a nice stiff drink? It's not time to stock up on ammo. It's always time to stock up on ammo, but it has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. The man fired one shot. Mike carries an XDS 45. It's a lot of gun, man. Smaller guns have a lot of kick. How did you build that? Practice, man. It's not my first one. Trust me. Your very first computer will never be like your final version unless you're that skilled. I've built dozens of computers. This one's not even finished. I actually have a bigger case that I need to put it in, but I can't afford it, so. On a serious note, does it bother you knowing some of the conditional approvals are people who have like domestic charges? When you say conditional approvals, what do you mean? Here in the state of Virginia, if you have a domestic charge that's on file, you're automatically denied. There is no conditional approval. I'm not sure about what your state is. Yeah, don't speculate on what it was. Wait until the facts are out. I don't play the speculation games, man. Maybe a beverage later, just taking it easy and eating a late dinner. Nice. Everyone's like, this means war. It was one person, man-on-man crime. Rocky doesn't know what's going on. Rocky's a dog. Rocky loves everybody, and everybody should be like Rocky. So using a bunch of parts from my first build I did about 8 years ago. That happens. Some of my water cooling parts are probably 4 years old because I don't spend a lot of money, man. What do you think of the 7mm Remington? The 7mm Remington is interesting. I've only shot it a couple of times. I'm not a rifle guy, so I don't spend a lot of time trying different cartridges. But I have shot it. It's cool. There is conditional non-approvals and approvals. Oh, okay. Bro, those are stuffed animals inside your PC. Yes. I don't know. I don't care what your views are, man. You're chilling, speaking the truth. Everyone needs to stop freaking out. Thank you. And really, honestly, if we don't have all the facts, why do you have conclusions? That's what I tell people. And I'm not trying to make it an apples to apples comparison, but when the airman, the Air Force guy, was killed by a 320, and everybody said it was the 320 going off on its own, and the fucking everybody stopped usage of the M18, and it turns out his coworker shot him. I didn't make a video on that incident because I didn't have the information. I'm not making a video on this incident because I don't have the information. I'm not that kind of a guy. I'm not that kind of a channel. I have my opinions, but my opinions are mine. Some states you no longer need a carry license. Yes, that's called conditional carry, Brady. The downside to constitutional carry, not conditional, constitutional carry is if you leave the state that you're in with constitutional carry and you do not have a CCW, you cannot carry in any other state regardless of if they have constitutional carry because you're not a resident of that state. So having a concealed carry license is ideal, especially if you plan on traveling outside of your state often. I live in Northern Virginia. I have Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, West Virginia, and a few hours away, Ohio. So some of those states have reciprocity, but if I don't have my CCW, then nobody will allow me to carry. Is that a KS7? Yep. I have an American Arms 300 Subsonic Blackout. I don't know who they are. I'll have to check it out. If your PC overheats, you're cooked. Not really, dude. The CPU is not overclocked, and how is it going to overheat? The only way it could overheat is if my water pump fails and I maintain the loop and I keep an eye on my temperatures. The only way that pump will stop is if the pump overheats, and the only way that a pump can overheat in a water-cooled custom build is if it stops getting water flow. And because my water flow is not blocked, it will never overheat. What's the revolver with the wood handle? How do you like it? It is a Heritage Barkeep. It's just a little 22, and it's fun. That's the only reason I got it. Yeah, I didn't even read your first comment. I do refrigeration for a living and built my own refrigerated water cooling system, which is funny because it does work. However, it's been shown that there's a point at which it's pointless to refrigerate. Unless you're going for max overclock, being able to lower the overall temperature of the system really doesn't matter. This system currently is idling at, and it's basically idling because watching YouTube doesn't do anything. Right now, my GPU is at 28 degrees Celsius. The ambient temperature in this room is 26, so it's a couple degrees over because it's actually doing a little bit of work. My CPU temperature right now is 23 degrees Celsius. So my CPU right now is below ambient temperatures. All you need is a pump 12 gauge and birdshot. Thank you, Mr. Biden. But yeah, so my computer right now at idle is running below ambient. Guys, let's stop talking about Charlie. Yeah, you think PC water cooling is worth it? I've never wanted to spend the money. I don't know how to do custom lines and blocks, and the IO system seems like a total waste of money. No. PC water cooling only applies to people that want to do stress testing, extreme long-term gaming, things like that. And honestly, a custom water loop makes no sense nowadays. A NZXT Kraken X73 for $175 will keep up with this system. The two radiators, all the fans, the fittings, the water pump, the distribution block, the plate, and my GPU plate, which isn't on this card, I have almost $1,000 in the water cooling hardware in that computer. And it makes no sense. You think the K-chips are still worth it? Most Mobos will boost to the thermal limits. The only way a K is worth it is if you are a intense overclocker. The only reason I actually have a 12900K is because I sold my 14900K before all the chips started blowing up, but also because I like to do tinkering. I do 3D Mark, CPU Boss, all those things. So I like to be able to fine tune my CPU, but 90% of the time you're 100% right. They will boost themselves. What's with people eat cornstarch and live streaming? I don't know what you're talking about, dude. People love to argue. You're not wrong, Jeff. People argue, and yeah. But yeah. But back to the original thing. It is not worth it to water cool a PC. No, Ricky, what happened? In your opinion, what's the stupidest AR attachment? The stupidest AR attachment, in my opinion, is usually the guy holding it. No, the stupidest attachment is probably a canted sight. It really is. I don't know anybody, I've never seen somebody who isn't a true operator use a canted sight. Any experience with the 365 fuse? I had one of the first ones in the state, but I sold it. I actually traded it for a Springfield Prodigy. So I have no shooting opinions. There are people that live stream here on YouTube and other social media platforms that eat cornstarch out of a bucket. That is strange. Do you think an MSI RTX 5060 is worth it? No. Especially not if you're getting anywhere near MSRP. Get a 40 series card. Unless you need something that uses DLSS 4 frame generation, then no. But if you're doing something that requires that level of frame generation, you should be buying a higher end card anyways. Why would you use a canted sight? So some people will put canted irons because they low mount their red dot and it won't co-witness with iron sights. And if your red dot dies and you don't have an etched reticle, then you have no sight. So they'll put canted iron so you can tilt the gun a little bit. A lot of people can shoot well with them, but not as many people. I've never seen an incident where somebody's life was saved because they had canted irons. My capacity type guy. No, I carry a 1911. I'm an accuracy guy. So what would you use for the same price but higher performance? Higher performance in what? Sorry. What price are you looking at right now? Because I would go used. I have very little into that 4070 Ti. That 4070 Ti will crush a 5060, obviously. Do I like the look of the Steyr? Yes. You think AMD will create FSR4 compatibility for 7000 series? Not sure. Don't know. I don't follow AMD stuff very much. I'm excited for the P10F. It should be there by Friday, dude. What's your opinion on the Daria Arms DY9 optic ready for 289? Yay or nay? Absolutely. That's a Daria Arms DY9 right there. I paid a little over 300 because that has a custom gold barrel normally. But yes, at 300 bucks, it's amazing. 300 bucks, find something used, but you're going to be hard pressed to find anything at 300 bucks that I would call worth it. GPUs have a price point where they're not worth buying because they're too expensive for the performance they give, and they're too expensive for the performance you don't get. So you have to find the sweet spot. $300 for a graphics card is not enough. And I'm not saying that as a snob. I'm just saying it's not enough. If you're going to get something for 300 bucks, try to find an older 4070. It'll outperform a 5060. Do 9mm or 45 ACP shoot softer? It depends on the gun, the material it's made out of, the manufacturer, the spring rates. I can make a 45 ACP that recoils just like a 9, depending on the spring rates. I don't know who Zulissi Optics are. MP5 clones, your thoughts? The PTR is probably the best clone, followed by the Mac MP5, or the Mac 5, or Mac 9, or whatever it's called. I've been running the 1080 Ti for a few years. Newer games struggle a little bit, but it's a great bargain right now. I've still got my water blocked 1080 Ti sitting on a case. In fact, my home PC, my theater PC, is actually an old 4790K and a GTX 980. You have a gun you would never sell, one that means the most to you? Yes. Anything that my grandfather gave me or anything my friends gave me as a gift. Any restrictions on buying out of state, West Virginia to Virginia? Yes. You cannot go out of state and buy a handgun without having it shipped to your home state. You can buy long guns out of state with 2 forms of ID, and they have to be government issued. You can't come in with a piece of mail and your driver's license and expect it to work. I'd put the tax sack on top of a Desert Eagle. Yep. What do you think about the M&P 2.0 and the GP 100? I like them both. I prefer the GP 100 to almost any other 357, and the M&P 2.0 is just a solid gun. 224 Valkyrie, what are your thoughts? I own one. I've never shot 224 Valkyrie, although you can hunt deer with it in Virginia. Your opinion on Siley optics? I've got a couple. The TSAS up there, the 2011, the double stack 1911, that has a Siley Cat 0 on it, and it holds 0 great. I like it. Stream needs 5% more dog. Thank you very much, Travis. Rocky, come here. Come here, buddy. Come here, bud. I'm about to give you your wish. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here, Rocky. Come here, pal. Come here, dude. Come here, my guy. Hi, Rocky. Why is your face crusty? What did you eat? Did you eat something funny? I love my dog. He lets me do whatever I want. Hey, Rocky, look up here. Whoop. Here, look up there.
I'm being held hostage.
No, I'm just kidding. Help! Holosun AEMS or 510C. I don't really have any opinion either way. Come here, buddy. Come here. You want a treat? You want a treat? Come here. You gotta do a trick, though. Come here. Come here. Sit. Come here. He knows he's being filmed. Come here. Sit. Sit. Good boy. There you go. Shake. He knows he's being filmed. He doesn't want to do tricks. Shake with the other hand. Nope, other hand. Other one. Other one. That one. That one. Come here. Sit. Yeah, it's too late for him. He doesn't like any of you right now. Here you go. These are really good. If you want something for your animal, get Full Moon Natural. These things taste better than store brand. I could eat that whole bag. Do I have any high power rifle? I got a 4570. That's about as high power as I go. And that's not even high power. That's actually a lie. I've got Steyr Scout. Not a Steyr. I've got a Savage Scout 110, 308, and a few others. I should do a dodo vid. Well, there's no downside really. He was just at an animal shelter, but he wasn't abused that I can see physically or anything that the dodo likes to do. My Hammer Prodigy stops cocking to the rear. You have a problem with your rear spring or your disconnector. Did you just eat a dog treat? Yes. You may not know it, but this is this company. It's human grade. Literally, it's consumable for humans. Do I use a bulletproof vest? Nope. Wait, I think I was wrong on the last one. You're all right, dude. But yeah, if you guys want to get in on the hoodies, they're going to be $45 plus shipping. It has to be through Cash App. Send me an email, thejiminishow@gmail.com if you're interested in getting one. We'll work out your mailing and things. I'm not human. No, I identify as a frog. Kermit the Frog. Hello. I did not go to the range yesterday. What company do you think is better, Smith & Wesson or Glock? I will never pick Glock over anybody ever, regardless. What's a good GPU price? I don't really follow the used market that much, man. Like I said, right now you can probably get a 4070 used on Facebook for about $400. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Why is this outrageous, son? One person murdered another person. If he had stabbed him to death, would you be saying the same thing about a cooking channel? Or are you somebody that's just like the rest of the internet and you're just grabbing on to what's happening and you're automatically associating everybody that has anything to do with a firearm to one psychotic idiot committing murder? Because what you're doing is fear mongering. You're spreading false fear. This was a targeted incident of one person attacking another person. It is no different than somebody walking up to somebody and stabbing them in the head. They just decided to use a ballistic tool to do it. What's the big reason you can buy a long gun out of state, but you have to get a pistol shipped? Because pistols are concealable, rifles are not, according to the law. And they say that if somebody wants to commit a crime and they go across state lines and buys a handgun, that they could do it out of state using bad IDs, whatever, because maybe back in the day when these rules were enacted, they couldn't verify out-of-state IDs easily. I don't know the 100%, but the main reason why pistols and rifles have different purchasing reasons is because rifles are considered not concealable. I didn't associate anything, chill out. You literally just did by coming onto a live stream and saying, the Charlie thing happened and then this is a live stream because I got guns behind me. You literally did, motherfucker. It's right here on the internet. Don't fucking come in here and tell me to chill out when you did something fucking stupid and now you're getting called out for it. Fucking take the L, learn your fucking lesson, and move the fuck on. Have a good fucking day, loser. Can I carry a pistol out of state of West Virginia? If you have a CCW that's reciprocity with other states, yes. West Virginia has constitutional carry. So in the state of West Virginia, if you're of age to carry a pistol, you can legally carry it concealed without a permit. But if you leave the state of West Virginia, you need to have a CCW to continue carrying it. It was a bit different. He could have been POTUS. A lot of people could have been POTUS. No, I have not seen your email. You just got here and you already like it. Look, man, I'm not trying to be a completely big dick about it, but when somebody comes in, says something that's demonstrably proved wrong because it's literally in writing on a fucking video, you can't backtrack from that shit. You're the same motherfucker that would have like a fucking joint behind your ear while being talked to by the police and they ask you if you do drugs and you fucking say no. Pair of frames on sale. I sent you the email. Who's selling them? Do you suggest squats for a more round bottom? Actually, believe it or not, you want to do split leg, like chicken wing. You want to exercise the glutes in a way that isn't just squats. Squats will get you a rounder ass, but if you want to make it firm, you need to do all kinds of different calisthenics that move the muscle. Don't ask me why I know that. Oh, wow. That's kind of cool. Yeah, but they're all officer size. I wouldn't build one. I would rather build a 5-inch, personally. That's cool. Oh, do they? I'll have to check it out. They have Luger frame. I did see that as I was scrolling through. You get shoot a lot of long guns like ARs or shotguns. Typically I just don't because I'm not a long gun guy. I did take my AR-15 with the Burris optic out to the range and sighted it in at about 100 yards, and it did fine. But man, have you seen the Chiappa? No, I don't look at anything Chiappa. Chiappa is a shit company, and if you buy something from them, you're asking for troubles. Their company is a company that buys other companies and drives them into the ground like Freedom Group did. Thought about it, would cost a fortune to build out a PO8 from a strip frame. Pretty much. The strip frames are for people that have gun parts or parts guns that have damage to their frames is the main reason to buy just a frame. See ya. No, I don't like Glock. Now, here's the thing, JS. I don't like Glock, the company. I don't care about the guns. The guns are mediocre at best. I say it all the time. The reason they're reliable is because their tolerances are so loose that you can fucking stick your dick between the frame and the slide and it'll still run. So, yes, Glock is reliable because they designed them poorly to begin with. They designed them poorly on purpose, as weird as that sounds. You have a bunch of extra parts. Yep. Can I see your revolver? Can you respond? I don't want to get spammed from chat for spamming. Well, here's an idea. If I'm not answering your question, then I'm probably not going to do what you're asking. Can't believe you have a Gerson over an OG Beretta. Why is that? Because this wall is for 2025 acquisitions. I got that gun this year. Thinking I don't have a Beretta is short-sighted. But no. Berettas are imminent replaceable, and that is a Gerson Gen 4 Sport. You can't get them anymore. Do you know what caliber? No, I don't, and I'm not making any assumptions, and I don't want other people's making assumptions either. Wait until the facts are out. The facts will be made public at some point. It's not worth speculating. It was enough to kill him. That's all you need to know. How do I like the Fusion 9mm? Love the Fusion firearm stuff. The XF and the XP. I've got them both. They're wonderful guns. Do you need a permit for an AR full auto? Yes, you need a license. You need a tax stamp. You need to file for a Class 3 full transferable machine gun. As a store, I can own them, but I can't personally own them if they're newer than 1986. Rundown. My favorite gun is a 1911. Bought 2 Snickers bar from CVS, and it was free with all the coupons. CVS gives a lot of good deals. And the one next to me wants me to bring my dog in, so. Yep. Everybody keep coming in and RPing him. A guy you've never met. Or if you met, you weren't his friend. What is the best AR for under $950? Right now, probably one of the better values would be the Smith & Wesson M&P Gen 3, the SIG Tread M400, the FN 15 when they're on sale, and Stag Arms. I would not break into your house. Yeah, I hope you don't. How do I feel about Sig Sauer as a company? They handled the 320 shit really badly. They deserve to be dinged for it. I don't think it should be held over their head for the long term because they farmed out that to a PR team instead of just nutting up and saying, oops, our guns are fucked and we'll fix them. They took the wrong route and blamed the owners. So they will get past it, but it's a bit of an issue. Wife's birthday is coming up. What should I get her? An STI Grandmaster and 38 Super Major. Thank you, Jim. No problem, dude. Should I trade my Glock 27 Gen 3 for a mini Micro Draco? No, you should just throw everything you own away and then get real guns. A Micro Draco? Who are you trying to impress? Why would you buy a 7.62 by 39 with no brace and no capability of having one? I do not have the best selection. I can order anything you want, though. Thank you. Is Springfield Emissary 1911 a good gun, and if you can put on a laser as a complement? The Emissary is fine. It's bulky because of the way they designed it on purpose, but it does the job. One of my colleagues was talking about the thing that happened today and asked me if I have any guns, and I was like, no, it's too much responsibility, and the laws are crazy here. Yeah, I don't... I'm not going to back down when somebody asks me that question, and you shouldn't either, dude. Just be honest. Because what happened today was not a gun issue. What happened today was one person killing another person. The only reason why it's made this much of a splash is because they killed a public-facing figure. The kid that gets shot on the street corner who didn't have a YouTube channel with millions of followers and who didn't know Trump personally, nobody's mourning that kid. That kid could have been taken down by somebody he knows because of violence, and nobody's mourning him. Yet all you people that never met Charlie Kirk, none of you, maybe some of you attended one of his speaking events, that doesn't make you his friend. Yet all you people, because he's a public-facing figure, are coming in here, rip Charlie Kirk, rip Charlie Kirk. What about all the other people that got killed today? Take a minute and think about that. The only reason you're commenting it is because you saw it on the news. If it wasn't a publicized event, none of you would know about it, and none of you would be saying anything. And that's where my problem with this comes from. I do not remember you, Chef. Yes. You know why you didn't hear a word about the school shooting? Because it wasn't Charlie fucking Kirk. Yeah, Dave, we're not making those kind of jokes tonight, man. Read the room. A little bit of decorum, please. You have any Israeli guns? Technically, that Tanfolio has a Mossad slide on it. Yeah, I know what shooting you're talking about. And yeah, it was in Colorado, one of the states with the strictest gun laws. It's not a gun issue. It's a person issue. Damn, the Snickers are so good. I ate both Snickers. Yeah, that's why I don't eat a lot of sugar. I just agreed with what you said. No, you said that guns don't kill people unless they're SIGs. So the joke is a little bit out of taste right now, man. Do I play Contractors Exfil Zone? I have it. I'm not a big fan of it yet because I've only played a little bit of that. I've been playing a lot more Ghosted Tabor, but I've actually stopped playing Ghosted Tabor because their programmers are a bunch of turds who don't know how to program a game. Penny unlocked her playpen and was loose in the living room all night. Awesome! I can't show fake love, especially can't show love to somebody I never met or personally knew. So you can mourn the death of somebody, you can mourn the loss of a human life, but to make it the focus of everything that you're discussing in a day, or the fact that he died today so everybody in chat is talking about it, is the issue. Do I still watch South Park? No. I haven't watched South Park in a long time. Facts, though, I understand where you're coming from. Thank you, Rundown. And I've said this a lot, man. I say this all the time. When people ask me my religious beliefs, my political beliefs, all this shit, don't take the word of an idiot you don't know. I'm a fucking moron as far as you're concerned. You shouldn't believe anything I say unless it's verified by multiple sources. You shouldn't follow my beliefs because you don't want to form your own. To that respect, to that end, you shouldn't also be enamored with me, think I'm your friend, think I'm somebody that you can rely on if I don't know you. So don't mourn me when I die. unless we've met. Yeah, it doesn't matter, dude. Brady, stop trying to talk people out of talking about it. I'm just removing them. I'm not even acknowledging it. Don't fucking acknowledge it. I'll just remove the comments. Do I like the company One Shot? Never had their choose, man. They're in all the games, though. I think you're my friend. So, as I've said, you guys are some of the few that I actually have met and are my friends and are people I trust. You guys can mourn me. I'll mourn you. But for the most part, 185,500 people are subscribed to me. 185,495 of you should not give a shit when I die. Have I ever shot a 365 AXG Legion? Yes, I have. It shoots really well. It's a very expensive gun, though. I don't know if it's worth it. I would just get a fuse, honestly. No problem, Mouse. So, again, I don't make videos on shootings. I don't make videos on current events because I'm not involved in those events. If I'm involved in a current event, if I wind up in a shooting event where I'm involved in it, I might make a video on it. But as it is, I don't make a big deal out of something I'm not involved in, man. I'm new here. I like and sub. Thank you, Rundown. Night, Dave. What does it take for me to become a mod? Well, not asking me to be a mod is how you would eventually become a mod, but that's out the window. How many years away till we get androids with bitty blasters like Austin Powers? At least 4. I just let Penny out. Penny, come here. Penny, come here, girl. Come here. Rocky does not give a shit right now what's going on. He's just laying underneath there on his little bed looking at me like, dude, will you shut up so we can go to bed? And I'm not going to do it. How long are we planning on going? I'm only going to go till about 10 o'clock tonight. She's eating the stray hay? That's awesome. Is there a holster for the Retay RXP22? Just picked one up today. Look at SIG 226 holsters. They have roughly the same size. They'll fit in those. You're going to need something that's flexible, though. I don't know if there's anything dedicated yet. How does Rocky sleep? He usually sleeps upside down with his dick in the air, so it's kind of awkward. But he also likes being under a blanket, so probably about how long I'm going to make it. Nice, Brady. Appreciate that. What's the long rifle on the wall? That is a Sears Model 43103. Are you wearing Rocky hat, or is that yours? This one is mine. I let Rocky borrow it. And by the way, dogs wearing hats are 1,000 times more likely to steal your girl. No, if Rocky was going to wear a hat, he'd be wearing the one he chewed up. Hello, Michael. What's up? As you guys come in, do me a favor. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you like having just chiller conversations. And we'll just hang out and talk because that's what this channel's about. I am starting Twitch where I'll be able to demonstrate firearms, so keep that in mind. Also, we're going to be doing hoodies. I see a lot of people voted in the poll. 300 people voted. That's awesome. I appreciate that. I need you guys to decide now. So black will definitely win. So we're going to end that poll. I'm going to do a new poll. So I need to do a new poll. What color hoodie other than black? Hoodie. Green, gray, or blue. All right. So we'll leave that up until the end. That will determine the colors. I do order one, I'll probably go green. Then you better hope that green wins because I'm only doing 50 of them and I can't just make a ton of different colors. Just getting into shooting, what would you recommend for an average price 9mm? Define average price to you. Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0s are average priced in the $400 to $500 range. Glocks are in the $400 to $500 range. If you want to go less than that, look at something like a Smith & Wesson SD9. They're in the $300 range. The PSA daggers, they need to be checked before you really kind of get into shooting those, though. But if you look at the Ruger RXM, $400, and they're pretty damn reliable. Just getting into shooting, what would you recommend? Yep, so those would be what I would recommend. I don't like to make individual recommendations because I've never shot with you. I don't know how you shoot and what you like. No, Para Ordnance has not made a pistol since 2016. They were purchased in 2012 by Freedom Group. Their guns were co-opted by Freedom Group and then sold as the Remington R1 Enhanced line after 2016. If you look at 2016 built Remington R1 Enhanced, you will see that they are actually using Para Ordnance LDA sights. So no, they have not been manufactured in nearly 10 years. Shotgun recommendations under $500. Mossberg 500, Remington 870. You can usually find those under $500 all day long. Ruger LC9S. That's a lot of handful of 9 right there, man.
What are you doing? What are you talking?
Hey Bruce, what's up? Which brand makes reliable guns small enough to carry? I don't want one-to-one to notice. It's about self-defense, like 45 caliber. Price is not an issue. A lot of companies make smaller guns than 45 cal. Glock with their, what is it, the 30 or whatever, 29. Springfield with the XDS. M&P makes the compact in 45s. Any leads on getting a CZ Shadow 2 Target 6-inch? Nope, haven't even looked, dude. Go on Gunbroker, dude. I have no ability to get one new, so just go on Gunbroker and order one. Did you need Para LPA sights? I don't. But we were just talking about it. Somebody asked if Para Ordnance was still manufactured. They're not. Glock 30 SF and 36 are their compacts. Got it. Thank you, Dre Rod. What is the world's smallest gun worth it? Technically, the Calibri pistol wins in terms of production small caliber. I think they're, what, 4-point-something millimeter rounds. But no, they're not worth it. You have a sweet Para 18.9. I love Para, man. Thoughts on a Taurus G2C? Outdated a little bit. Get the G3 series, but they still work. You got canceled on Gunbroker? Maybe you should pay for your guns. Hey, man, can you guess what guns? No, and I'm not playing that game. I don't want to play that game. It was obviously a rifle. To go that far, that's as far as I'll go with speculation. So green is not winning. Sorry, dude. I might do a few green, possibly. It depends on what my guy can get for me. The more colors I get, the more expensive the hoodies get. It's stupid. Got a 70-pound ammonia can full of 20mm rounds I need to get rid of. Who wants them? You can't do that on YouTube. You should be posting that somewhere else. So don't post that. Sorry, Bruce. I clicked the wrong button. I will put that back right now. Sorry. I did not mean to remove your mod status. I was trying to remove a comment and the chat scrolled. There are no Glocks up on my wall, and you cannot touch a gun on a live stream, Pokemon. Yeah, so black is definitely going to be one of the colors of the hoodies. I'm trying to figure out what other colors. Go for what the people want. Better to keep the price lower. Yeah, the problem is if I go with just what the people want, I wind up spending too much money on a lot of stuff. But if my guy will let me order a few greens at the same price, then I will. But we're only doing 50 hoodies total. I will never do another run of this design ever again. If I do something next time, I'll change the design. I'll change the lettering. I don't know. But this first inaugural 50 are like the 50 shirts that I did. There won't be another 50 like them. Yeah, We all saw that, my guy. What's a stupid mistake people make when selling their guns at a paw store? What's a stupid mistake? They don't clear the fucking gun before they hand it to me. Ignorant to this stupid question, why can't you touch a gun on stream? Because Google is a multi-billion-dollar, if not a trillion-dollar company who sells advertising, and in 2019, a guy killed himself on a live stream. Since 2019, you will automatically get your live stream removed if you touch a handgun. What gun is above the rifle? Kel-Tec KS7. Can you carry shotguns in other states? If other states have open carry laws, yes. Because you can purchase a long gun in another state. If they have open carry, you can open carry in another state. Twitch allows you to demonstrate firearms and show firearms, which is why I want to do Twitch streaming as well. Because I can show how to take them down, to maintain them, clean them, etc. I can also answer questions. You can do things. But they have not gotten quite as strict. You can't point a gun at a camera on Twitch, and you can't wave it around angrily. We'll talk about whatever you want to, but whether or not I engage depends on your level of decorum. Maryland is strict. Maryland is just a hellhole filled with bastard people. If you go to Twitch, you going to stop YouTube? No, I'll do Twitch on the days I don't do YouTube. How many years does a Tritium Night Sight last before dimming? I think it's something like 7 years. Will I be getting any 4XLs? No, I'm only doing 50, and I need to sell them, so I can't get oversized hoodies. I'll be getting extra large, 2X, and 3X. That's it. Recommendation for a left-handed rifle brand to get into precision shooting: Bagara. No problem, Brad. Super dope setup, bro. That room looks sick with all the guns on the pegboards. Thank you, sir. I carried my shotgun in Maryland. Was that illegal? I don't know. Maryland hates guns, so probably. I'll take a 2X. No worries, dude. Just send me a text, Stone. Those of you that have my cell phone number, just text me. Also, Cash App is how you pay for the church. Do not pay me through YouTube, because you will have to pay an extra 33% to cover what they take, and it will take 8 weeks before I ship out your shirt. Tika also makes lefties. That's true. I have a buddy that lives in Hagerstown, and I've brought my guns up there, but I've never carried them out in the clear. Snakes, yes, absolutely. We've been talking about that, and that's the stance I take. It's not a gun issue, it's a person issue, and it's absolutely horrendous that somebody would do that. And when they find them, I hope they beat the living shit out of them. That's why I carry, because of DC. Yeah, well, if you get caught, expect to lose your gun. Yeah, carrying in your truck is fine, I guess. Tika's a shit for lefties. There you go. Have you seen the Nerf gun mods that make them crazy? Not really. Compensator or magnaporting, which is better? If the comp is cut directly into the barrel in the slide, it's probably just as effective as the porting. If it's a mounted compensator that goes on the end of the barrel, such as the Canic up there, or a 1911 bushing compensator, they're not as effective as a port. You have lost weight. Are you training? No, I got a dog, and he gets me up at 5 o'clock every morning, and we go to the park at 7, and we do a lot of walking that I haven't done in years. So I have a strong metabolism when it actually gets activated, so I'm just losing weight naturally. Glock tattoo update. It's still there. It's still readable. I am not doing anything to it, and we're coming up on we're past a year now. So we got, I think, 8 months left that I have to keep it. And as soon as that 8 months comes up, I'm blacking it out. I'm Canadian. The only thing we carry is a fishing pole, and even then we probably still get a ticket. Lol. I'm Canadian too. I'm just getting into it. I've got bad news for you, Bread. How many guns you got in total? No idea. Never counted them. Is it legal to saw off my own shotgun? Only if you're taking it from 24 to 18 and a half inches. If you go below 18 and a half inches on a shotgun, you are creating a short barrel shotgun. So unless you follow up that shortening of the shotgun by filing a Form 1 to SBR your or SBS your shotgun, yes, it's illegal. Where are you from? My mother's vagina, but location currently Virginia. So kind of like vagina, only spelled completely different. Savage Axis, Winchester XBR, Ruger Americans are all good lefty rigs. Nice. Handgun ban in Canada is total BS. I hope for Canadian sake that gets overturned soon. They are subject to a king. It will not get overturned because Parliament is a bunch of douche nozzles. 200 yards isn't a crazy shot, but the impact spot was insanely accurate. It's not hard to shoot 200 yards. As bad as it is to say, it's not hard to shoot 200 yards. 2,000 yards, yes. 200 yards, a competent shooter can shoot 200 yards. What's the right way to carry, in the waist or on the leg? I don't advocate for open carry, period. If you're going to open carry, you should still use a waistband rig because that allows for better retention of the gun. We could separate over here on the West Coast. That would fix the bands. That would be cool. Savage 110 is a really good lefty. Nice. Cactus, been busy with life. Haven't seen one of your live streams in a while. Glad you're still answering question like you've been up 72 hours. Yeah, pretty much. No lead bullets. Thoughts versus lead FMG for accuracy. Lead can foul out the rifling in a barrel, so I really don't like lead bullets. Some people manufacture their own lead bullets, but I prefer a full metal jacket. It's just better for the gun. Having a shot build my AR-15, is that the way to go? If I don't know dick about building an AR-15, it's going to be my first AR. There's nothing wrong with that, Phil. Nothing at all. I can build my own ARs, but I usually have my buddy build my ARs because he's done more of them than I have, and quite frankly, I can't be bothered to do it. I'm not a long gun guy, but when it comes to 1911s, I will disassemble a 1911 7 times just to get the trigger weight right. You know, so it's absolutely not the wrong thing to do. The only time I would tell you that you should do it yourself was just because you are learning or you want to do it yourself. There's nothing wrong with paying somebody to do it right. Michael, what's going on? How are you? Do I hunt? Nope. Yes, I heard about what happened to Charlie Kirk, Michael. Unfortunately, I am a social media person and I'm involved in firearms. So yes, Stone is actually the one that told me about it. And then I watched a bunch of stuff and read a bunch of stuff, and it's terrible, man. Sucks. A 45 would run fine for quite a while until the barrel gets fouled out. Eventually, when it, no, full metal jacket is not harder on a barrel. Brass is better for a barrel than lead. Lead can foul up the rifling and get embedded in the rifling and cause it to lose accuracy. I need a scope or reflex sight, make 200 yards, and I was trained well, just got some eye damage from past injury. Exactly, man. It's not hard to hit 200 yards. The AR is going to be 12.5. I can't wait till it's done. Nice, dude. Yeah, no, he put it out in a text. I'm on a text chain with him and McManus. 1911s are way harder to build than an AR. Agreed. 100% agreed. I just prefer to build my 1911s. I don't know why. I'd rather, build a 1911. Unfortunately, I had the honor of letting you know in my church group know. Yeah, and I appreciate you saying something because I wouldn't have known until the live stream because I don't really pay attention to current news and things like that, and it didn't pop up on my phone. Do I buy decommissioned stuff? No, I really don't. The only time I'll buy something that's been demilled or anything like that is if it's insanely cheap. I don't buy for collectability reasons as a dealer. But again, I have to stress this very much so to all of you people that are new and hoping for some kind of comment from me. It was not a gun violence issue. This was a person-on-person violence issue. If they had been a mass shooting, it still would not have been a gun violence issue. It would have been a person on other people issue. I do not believe a gun can kill somebody on its own. No 320 jokes tonight. It's just Americans and people on social media with this instant gratification bullshit don't understand facts, and they just spout whatever they hear like fucking parrots wanting a cracker. And y'all, for the last 5 hours, have just been coming in, and on my emails and shit, and everybody I'm seeing online is RIP this, RIP this, RIP this. None of you motherfuckers know Charlie Kirk. None of you are personal friends of his, because you wouldn't be on a live stream right now. Yes, it's sad. How many of you were talking about the shooting in Colorado? How many of you are talking about some kid that got shot on the street corner today? None of you are, because he's not. That kid isn't a social media star. The school didn't have children die. Because of all those reasons, none of you are talking about that. You're only talking about Charlie Kirk because he's a social media guy, which is the most bullshit, fucked up reason to say anything about somebody, in my opinion. It's just like anybody that keeps up with the fucking Kardashians. I worked with a lady that felt so bad when a Kardashian left the channel, I fucking went off on her too. I'll go off on you in your fucking face. I don't care. None of you knew him. If I could have a company make me a 1911, which company would it be? It's a mix between Nighthawk Custom and Hayes Custom. Hayes is really solid. Buckshot, what's up? Political figure. Yep, that lady that got stabbed on the train and was left to die. That sucked. Absolutely. But what was her name? Was she a social media icon? That one lady. My Dell all-in-one that I used to watch YouTube on running Windows 10. Now that Microsoft no longer support Windows 10 and my heart now will not allow Windows 11. What are my options? Keep watching as Windows 10 gets officially decommissioned. Windows 11 will become free to upgrade to. It also can be sideloaded on the systems with Windows 10, just not as easily. If you own a modern computer, plug your SSD into that, load Windows 10 onto it as if it was a new install, and then plug that into your Dell, it will run it. And knowing somebody means what? It means a personal connection to that person. You have no clue what Charlie Kirk was like when he wasn't on stage. You've never met the man. You've never had dinner with the man. Again, if any of you had that level of connection with Charlie Kirk, you wouldn't be on social media. You wouldn't be on YouTube at 10 o'clock at night talking to 57 people like you knew him, like he was your fucking brother. You can have respect. The RIP, that's fine. I don't care about that. But all these people that are fucking making videos and clickbait shit and making money off of his death can go fuck themselves because they never met the man. Nice collection, thank you. Howard, who can get my 1911 trigger down to less than 2 pounds pull weight? A competent gunsmith can, but it's very difficult to get it below 2 pounds because it requires a lot of fine tuning that can make the gun less reliable. I had one that had a half-pound trigger and the reset sometimes didn't work. School right by my school got shot up in Colorado. Although this is not because of gun violence, it's mental health. Please pray for them. Yeah, and I know about that situation as well, but people aren't talking about it because how many kids died? Scabs will be scabs. Slurp the money to whoever's expense. Yep. And it's interesting to see who makes these videos. It's people that make their living doing this, and they're desperate to continue to have relevancy in this space. It's people that used to be Let's Players. Now all of a sudden they do react videos, and now they react to the news. These motherfuckers that are fucking farming content to make money, yeah, it's fucking disgusting. If guns were banned, would you sell knives? No, because I'm not a knife guy. I'd suggest primary differences: children killed in Colorado and learned they didn't have years of people calling on their deaths for various social media platforms and have no moderation. Maybe closing all the mental hospitals over the past 2 decades was a bad idea. You're not wrong, Clinton. That's the fucking issue. Instead of putting trillions of dollars into making laws and putting gun control in place and moderating companies that manufacture firearms, none of those guns have ever expressed to me a thought to cause harm to another individual. But a lot of you motherfuckers have. So I would rather see all the money that goes into gun control go to mental health. We need better trained psychologists. We need people that can recognize people that are having mental distress and issues. We need people that can recognize problems when they see it so that they can better handle these situations. A lot of these people that wind up committing gun violence and violence against others, number one, they're seeking the route of least resistance. It's easiest to kill somebody with a gun. It's harder to kill somebody face to face or when you're directly in front of them. So they pick a gun, but also because nobody talked to them. The number of people that wouldn't do something if just one person talked to them like a human being would surprise you. Have you ever had personal experience with an HK91 or an FN SCAR? Yes, I've shot an HK91, a pre-ban. What do you think about FRTs? Don't really have an opinion. I've got a binary. FRTs are fine. They're a waste of money. They waste money, man. Civilian disarmament is the goal of gun control. I also believe that it's protection for criminals. Gun control does nothing but help criminals obtain guns to outgun law-abiding citizens. Incognito, you have a good night, man. There are so many Tikas. How the hell do I pick one? Go caliber and color, because they have all the different stocks which count as different models, as well as the barrel colors. You'll be fine. Being a registered Democrat should screen most of the problems out. See, that gets into the problem of politics, man. We shouldn't be political in the way that we are. We had political parties to allow for distribution of differing opinions amongst constituents from different places, states, counties, commissions, whatever. And for some reason, we've turned that into, we have Republicans, we have Democrats, and fuck all you independents. And it's created a situation and an environment where we believe wholeheartedly, if you're a dead set Republican, a dead set Democrat, that the other side is a bunch of morons, teetotalers, fucking left-wing, right-wing nuttists, instead of just realizing that the differing opinions are because of differing opinions and accepting them as opinions. When we take them as words to incite violence or words to incite insults because of somebody's personal ideals, that's when the problems occur. So here's an idea. Stop being fucktards. I have a picture of you by my bedside. You make me feel safe. Now that I'm a big gun tuber, I have an opinion. Lol. The real difference in political ideology has led to shootouts in the street in front of the White House for nearly 2 centuries. It's not really that new of a concept. Yeah, but no. The ones that happened in front of the White House were amongst the political party members themselves. It wasn't just civilians. Nowadays, it's every motherfucker with a smartphone having an opinion. No, politics don't matter. The fact that you make it matter is the only reason it matters. If we take politics out, if we take lobbyists out of the picture, then it becomes about the individual, the environment, the communities, and the localities versus the politics. Politics don't mean shit. There's no politician in the entire country of the United States that gives a rat's ass about anything they're voting on. All they want to do is stay in fucking office. There's not one single politician, and I've met a bunch. I've met a lot of mayors, governors, things like that, working at gun stores and meeting a lot of people, that they literally don't give a shit about anything they're talking about. They have lobbyists and people lining their fucking pockets that tell them what to say, and they fucking parrot that shit out. They might have had beliefs when they started in politics, but they abandoned that shit immediately because people like you keep on saying politics matter. Politics don't fucking matter. People matter. Ideals matter. We matter. Politicians can go fuck themselves. I want to see you with Demolition Ranch or Kentucky Ballistics. Well, Demolition Ranch is gone and Kentucky Ballistics would never have me on. Have you seen that Danny DeVito shrine? No, I haven't. Booth made a pretty strong political statement when he assassinated Lincoln, but largely that's true. I'd like to see that come back. I want to see some solving disputes with few duels. That would be interesting. I like this guy the more he talks. You know, I'm trying to be a level-headed, even-minded person. I am not a leftist. I am not a rightist. I am a sensible individual who wants common sense, and not common sense gun laws, common sense drug laws, common sense this. I just want common fucking sense. I think all lobbyists should be treated like treason because you're trying to influence a political person, party, individual, group. So it should be a federal fucking crime to give money for favors. It is. It's called fucking bribery, but when you're a lobbyist, you're not actually giving money to the individual candidate. You're giving it to an election campaign or a campaign fund. Go fuck yourself, every single one of you fucking lobbyists. Red or blue Loctite for gun parts. Mix them. Blue if you want it to come apart. Red if you want to have a shit fuck ton of time trying to get them apart. I'm not even right down the middle. I don't like politicians. If I ran for president and I won, I would dissolve everybody. I would start the whole system over. There will still be risk-averse people that value security over liberty. The ideology comes first, then they find their camp. Nowadays, no. If you look at the standard average politician, they are a bought and paid for puppet with one company or another's hand up their ass. All those jokes from the 80s about how corporations are going to take over America and how corporate people are going to take over America. Look what Elon fucking Musk did to get into office with fucking Donald Trump and run Doge until they had a differing of opinions. Companies are paying billions of dollars to own politicians to get things they want done. And that's not conspiracy. That's not speculation. It's fucking truth. And that is bullshit, and it should be absolutely treated like treason. Do you think the incident is going to harm the 2A community? No, for one very specific reason, Stone, and I said it in our text. It's a really shitty thing to say, but it was a single person shooting one other single person with one shot. If it was a mass shooting, it definitely would affect the 2A community. But no. In fact, I've seen news articles saying that stocks for gun companies have risen because fuck social media. Simpsons predict the future. Yep. Brady, you have a good night, man. Red and blue Loctite both soften when heated. One is kinder on aluminum threads. Yeah, but red is much harder to get off. They did not make Charlie a martyr for 2A because, number one, they haven't caught the motherfucker. Number two, if a political party is using him for that fact, they need to back the fuck off and at least give him 24 hours of fucking respect. Also, I believe, this is a personal opinion, if any individual wants to run for office and they currently hold an office, you need to abdicate that office with no expectation of reassuming that office in the event of a loss. Another thing I hate seeing is all these motherfuckers that run for president, governor, etc. while still holding another office, and they get to stay in that office if they lose. Fuck you. If you want to be president and you're currently governor, abdicate the fucking throne. Let's talk about that. How the fuck does somebody get away when they're 200 yards away, surrounded by thousands of people on the top of a building? I wish I had an answer. It's not a real rhino, Joseph. It's just a 3D printed copy. A lot of offices do have term limits. You think it was set up to change the subject from Epstein? No, dude. Come on. We're not into jokes tonight, guy. Like Cleanaway 2, totally vanished. If somebody knows what they're doing, it's not impossible. They use the crowd's reaction to get away. .200 yards is not a hard shot to make if you know guns. I don't know the area he was in. I don't know the angle of the shot. he was on stage without anybody around him, and it did come from an off angle, but 200 yards is not a long shot. Is PSA good or not? Their quality control is hit and miss. The guns can be fine. You just need to check it out. Yeah, no. A subsonic 22 from that far away would not do that kind of damage. Was wondering about that Chiappa too. Thought it might just be an outcoating. Nope. We don't know what cartridge killed him, and why would you go on a random YouTube channel to ask that question? Do you have any chance of survival? Based on what was told, no. Unfortunately, he was shot in the chest, and it apparently hit something and arced up. So he grabbed his neck, according to the article. And again, I need to know all the facts before I really say anything concrete. But the fact that blood came out of a wound immediately usually means an arterial bleed. How do you remove rock set? Put it in boiling hot water, and then let it sit in boiling hot water as long as you can do it, and then pull it off. Yeah, 200 to 500 yards. I mean, honestly, a good enough shot could hit 200 yards with irons. So, I've seen the video. I'm going to say no, 0 chance based on arterial bleeding. Yeah, that much. The fact that it happened that fast, when blood follows a wound immediately, that typically indicates an arterial bleed. When somebody is shot through tissue, there will be blood, but blood doesn't come out. It will usually saturate the tissue and the clothing that it goes through. So, saw the real thing before it was deleted. Arterial, I knew he was gone. Yeah. How did you get into guns? My buddy owned a gun store. Normally I pop in and say what's up. I wish it was under those circumstances. My soul is deeply hurt knowing what happened to Charlie, dude. I get it. It sucks. A human life was snuffed out because somebody didn't agree with him. That's the stupidest reason to kill somebody. There's no good reason to kill somebody other than they committed the act first. I believe that murderers should be murdered. Death penalty, I'm all for it when the crime is heinous. Saying that the death penalty doesn't teach somebody a lesson, it absolutely does teach them a lesson. It just happens to be the final lesson they get to learn. But it's one they're never going to forget. They'll remember that lesson the rest of their life. Have you heard of anybody using a liquid gasket for Loctite? Believe it or not, Tommy John, if you're in a bind and it's something that doesn't require like hundreds of foot-pounds of torque, you can actually use Teflon tape, and it will usually hold a thread. Life for a life, 100%. Am I religious? I have my religious beliefs. I believe in a higher power. That's as far as I discuss it. Yeah, I don't even like to get into the ideal of leftists and rightists, conservatives and liberals. They're all labels put on people by other people, not the people themselves, and then they just become publicly accepted. So when something becomes a publicly held belief, it doesn't matter whether or not it's true. So to put things on that way, it's an annoying way of putting it to people. And I understand people need labels in this day and age, but it's wrong. Some think his speech was equivalent to violence. Unfortunately, you can think whatever you want, but he had the right to free speech. In the United States of America, we have the right to freedom of speech. Just because you think that his statements were the equivalents of violence, that's your right to think that. But you don't have the right to end somebody's life unless they were inciting violence directly, and even then, you don't have the right to kill somebody over it. I don't wish that on anyone. Yep. Killing a murderer is not murder. Agreed. What's up, Ken? What state instituted death by firing squad? I think there's like 3 or 4 states that do it now. You used to be able to actually choose your death penalty. I used Teflon on my balisong pivots in the past. Oil eats away though, so it's not a great idea for anything. Yeah, I get that one. I fear it's going to be a mess. Tom and per guns and guns be hated. Free speech is what we're based. Why so sad? So that is really bad typing. But yeah, it's fucked up. Today's your dad's birthday. You can't believe what happened today. How did you know Charlie? The reason I ask that question is you can mourn somebody's death, but letting the death of a perfect stranger affect your dad's birthday or your thought on your dad's birthday is kind of fucked up. And I'm not calling you out as an individual. I'm calling out anybody that keeps on doing that because I've seen it a lot. It should not affect you in that way. You should mourn the loss of life. You should mourn that somebody died today, but you should also mourn the other 1,000 people that died today due to violence. Why is it fucked up? Because when you associate yourself with somebody you've never met to that level, that says a disturbing amount about you as an individual. And I'm not saying that to call anybody out. But if you associate to a actor, a politician, somebody that you've never met, somebody you have no personal relationship to, somebody that has done nothing for you personally other than give you entertainment of some sort, then you are looking at your life in absolutely the wrong way. Take all that energy that you're willing to give to somebody you've never met and apply it to your family. Call your mom right now. Call your dad right now. Anybody that you talk to that you haven't talked to in a week, call them right now. Let that be the takeaway from this. Don't let somebody's death that you've never met ruin a day for you. Let it be your reminder to keep the people you actually care about close to you. Take the people that you love and put them first. Yes, it's absolutely sad that he died. Absolutely a travesty that somebody murdered somebody. But I'm not going to wake up tomorrow thinking about it. I would rather think about my family, my friends, my people I know, and worry about their well-being before I worry about somebody else. 27 states still have it. Damn it. I didn't mean anyone who died on 9/11. There's still a significant amount of grief that happens surrounding an event like that. No, ruin that day for the whole country. That's different, McManus. That affects you directly. The effects of 9/11 directly affected every person, every American, everybody, because that was a attack against the maximum number of unnamed individuals. That could have been you. That could have been your mother. That could have been somebody you care about. That is not what happened with Charlie Kirk. It's not what overdoses. What happened with them is an absolutely isolated incident against an individual because of their status, name, or ideals. But what happened on 9/11 is absolutely different. They are demonstrably different. Now, if you can associate yourself that hard with individuals you've never met, fine. I'll let you be you. This is America. You have your rights to your opinion. But the very fact of it is, unless you have some kind of direct connection to the event, you shouldn't be as affected as some of you seem to be. Like, McManus and I have played video games together. We've talked on the phone. Me and Stonehaven have played games and talked on the phone. No offense to any of you. And I want you to understand, this is my brain chemistry at work here. If every one of you left me, I would not care. It's fine. Bloodsong, what's up, dude? You changed your name. They get to make... No, they didn't. They don't have the assailant yet. They haven't announced any real information. They will when they have it. You're not wrong. I feel so bad for Charlie's family. He had a wife and 2 young kiddos. We should be praying for them, especially his wife and kids. That is fine. I agree with that. Every bit of our thoughts and prayers can go to them, and you know, it just. And I don't want it to come off wrong. I really don't. But I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from just as much as I'm trying to understand where you come from. And my problem with it is, YouTube used to shorten your name. Ah, got it. Am I a psycho? No. And you don't know what a psycho is, otherwise you wouldn't be asking that question. Let's talk about guns. Everyone will be like goldfish and forget about it tomorrow. 9/11 affected me even if I'm not an American. Absolutely, Guile. 9/11 affected the world. It changed commerce. It changed how we live as individuals. It changed our ideal of security and our sense of peace. And it created bad situations, just like COVID did. COVID killed millions of people. It caused a worldwide pandemic. It caused a shutdown of economics unprecedented in our lifetimes. Are you American? What do you think of 9/11 regardless who did it? Taking another person's life, killing thousands of people, is atrocious. If every person that wanted to commit mass murder just started with themselves, we'd be a much better place. Let's talk bolt action shotguns. I sold mine. I wish I still had it. Would you eat 1,000 wasps and bees at once, but they all consented to it? They are all okay with it? What? That's a great response. Thank you, Miss Bunny. And I'm trying to be as civil as I can without going off on people too much. There is no scar. Actually, bolt action shotguns are quite old, actually, Fish. Google it. Winchester made them in the 60s. I don't have an opinion, man. I know what the media says. I know what individual information has come out about it. But why do you care what I think? What matters is, what do you think? Best bolt action? I'm not sure. I haven't played with any new ones. I had a Mossberg bolt action 12. I got rid of it as a kid. It was an oddity. Yep. No, I haven't seen the unblurred footage. I really don't need to. I grew up back when the internet was almost completely uncensored. I've seen a lot of gun violence uncensored. I understand what happened based even on the blurred ones. It wasn't good. It sucks. I'm not sure how much beyond that actually matters. That's 100% true, McManus. People that commit those kind of acts, they have brains that go places that normal thinking individuals can't. Yes, we can speculate. If we sit and we take the time, we can get there. But these people live and breathe these ideals, and I don't go there. Bruce, I mean, it is a political tragedy, but only because we're making it as such. Also, we need to find out who did it to understand the ideals as to why he did it, because his reasons for doing it may not have been political at all. He might have just had a deep-seated hatred for Charlie as an individual and decided to be a fucking psycho and kill somebody. All right, dude, I already explained to you what happened, and the fact that you would come in here and fucking keep running your fucking mouth, I hope you get diarrhea. I think the people automatically assume it was a professional sharpshooter and you go to real range where sharpshooting. Yeah, when I was a child, I had difficulty. I remember back when YouTube wasn't censored. Yep, it was pretty fucked up back then. What's better, 22 mag or 17? I'm saying 22 mag all day long. Depends on what you're trying to do with it. If you're trying to take small game, honestly, 17 HMR is probably better. The internet was wild back in the day with the gore websites. Yep, and they're still technically out there. They're just much harder to find because they don't show up in search engines anymore. I was watching on live and an older guy was cuffed, but we see it didn't matter. Joshua, are you okay, man? Are you having a bad stroke? Because you are typing some really hard to read words, dude. Core, K-O-R-E, Tommy, is a good brand for range belts. They make hard range belts that you put parts, pouches and stuff on, but I also wear a core belt daily. In the front of your 401, we know it's crazy because we have a standard for saying. Yeah. Did you realize you guys are talking about? That was a surprise. Yeah. But it is what it is, Kyle. The fact that you didn't know until we were talking about it, honestly, it means you have a better life than a lot of people online. So it's 10 o'clock. My dog keeps on leaving the room because he's tired of me talking. So, and honestly, I'm kind of over this subject. So, not a stroke, too fast typing, and 4 shots. I'll stop. No worries, dude. I gotta sleep, but what's good? Yep. All right, guys. So, email me if you're interested in a hoodie. They're 45 plus shipping. I need to sell a few before we start them up. I'm trading my guy. Stonehaven came in big with the dono towards them. I still need to raise some money towards the rest of them. My goal is to have them produced by the middle of next month. They take a few weeks to manufacture. So send me an email if you're interested. thejiminnyshow@gmail.com. Payment will be through Cash App. It will not be through YouTube because I won't get the money for 8 weeks and YouTube takes 30%. They don't get money for nothing. Life was good back then, Miss Bunny. Hopefully conversation is better next live. No, unfortunately I don't think it will be, but I'm still going to be here, guys. So y'all have a good night. Buckshot, thank you for becoming a member. I'm going to be batch filming videos, so you'll get early access to those. So everybody come back. Enjoy the videos, come hang out, have fun, and we'll talk later, okay? We can do Zelle as well. Just send me an email, Joshua. We can figure it out. I just don't want to do it through YouTube because YouTube takes money. And that makes it too hard. So just send me an email, brother. thejiminnyshow@gmail.com. So, Rocky, come here real quick. Rocky, come here, bud. You alive? Come here, buddy. Come here, pal. We're going to say goodnight. It's our nightly ritual. Come here. Oh, look at that stretch. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Come here, Rocky. It's okay. Come here. Come here, pal. Come here, dude. Come here. Yeah, see, he's so tired, he does not want to get up. So, everybody say goodnight to Rocky, man. Love you, brother. See you next one. Yep. All right, man. Rocky, good night, buddy. Say good night. He knows when he's being filmed. He has his own channel, A Dog and a Dude. Check that one out, but he knows what's going on. So he then says good night. See you later, night. Good night. Honestly, I've been mourning. It happens, dude, and things happen. I'm sorry, brother. Good night, Rocky. Good night, TJ. See how tired he is? He's so tired. Also, that's the computer case that I'm building in, and he's a 70-pound dog, and that's how big my computer case is. Fuck. Guile, I'm so sorry, dude. Man, I'm so sorry. Our thoughts and prayers. See, I have more direct connection with Guile, and I feel worse for his family than I do. You know, I feel worse for him as a person, so I hope that you, if you need anything, just email me, brother, okay? So, also, it looks like gray and black are going to be the first 2 hoodies that we do, so come back, though. What a monster. ATX or MATX? Probably EATX. I'm going full size on that one. So yeah, so that is the Corsair 1000D. So yeah, my dog can fit in my computer case. All right, guys, I'm hitting the button. Everybody go to bed. See you later. Good night. Good night.